Hello everyone, today we'll create these two cool hamburger menu animations. The first one will be this arrow shape animation. Every time we click the three lines, they will get transformed in an arrow shape, and they also have an awesome transition. It's the same when we click back the arrow. The lines will get the shape of the three parallel lines like in the beginning. The other one is an X-shape animation. So basically when we click the three lines, they will get the shape of an X. It also has some cool transitions, as you can see. It's the same when we click back the X. The lines will get the shape of the three parallel lines like in the beginning. If you're curious to know how to create these amazing hamburger menu animations with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, make sure to watch the video until the end. Before we start this video, I'd like to tell you that from now on I'll be uploading videos with sound. By the way, this is not my real sound, I'm using a computer sound. This is my first video, so let's enjoy it together. Today we're going to create two cool hamburger menu animations which you saw in the beginning. By the way, you can find the source code of this video in the description. So let's continue the tutorial. These three divs will be the lines you see to a usual hamburger menu. Line 1, Line 2, and Line 3. Now let's jump to the CSS. As for CSS, I already added some basic stylings. I removed the margin and padding to all elements and added the box sizing to border box for all of them. I used flexbox to center everything inside the body. Also added min height of 100 view per height and a dark background. Now let's select all the lines using .line class. We'll give it a width of 30 pixel to it and a height of 2 pixel. A background color of red. You can see the result to the right side of the screen. I'm using live server, so every time I make changes and save it, the browser refreshes automatically. If you want to use it, go to extensions and search for live server. Here, instead of disable, it will read install for you, and all you need to do is click it. After that, to enable it, go to HTML file and right-click. To the context menu, you can see a text that reads open with live server. Just click that and the browser will open. Now let's continue with the CSS. Give it a margin of 3 pixel for top and bottom and 0 for left and right. I'll just zoom in so we can see better. But normally it will look like this. We're going to add a border radius of 50 view per width. After that, I'll add a box shadow, 0 for X, 0 for Y, 0.5 rem for blur, and a red color. Now let me explain the logic we'll use. Normally the hamburger menu only has a hamburger class, but when we add the X class to it with JavaScript, Line 1 will get some stylings. Line 2 will get some stylings, and Line 3 will get some stylings. Now let's create the X class to the CSS file and add custom stylings to each line. For now, I just added the X class manually so we can see the changes we make to each line. Let's give it a transform of translate Y of 6 pixel to line 1. And you can see the first line comes down for 6 pixels. We actually need 5 pixels to position it perfectly with the second line. We'll do the same for the third line, but we need -5 pixels so it goes up to the second line. Now let's rotate the first line to -45 degrees. Do the same for the third line, just add 45 degrees, not minus. And for the second line, I'll add a transform translate x of 100% and an opacity of 0. Now you can see we have created a perfect X icon using only CSS. Let's add a cursor pointer to Hamburger so if a user hovers over it, they will know it is clickable. Now back to HTML. When the Hamburger doesn't have the X class to it, it will show the 3 lines. When it has the X class, it will have the X shape, and as default it will not have that class. Now let's jump to everyone's favorite, JavaScript. Before we continue with the JavaScript, I upload videos related to web development every day, so I'd really appreciate if you could click the subscribe button and like the video. That would really keep me motivated to create more videos for you. Also, if you're having trouble understanding the code, comment down below since I answer all the questions. Now back to the code. First, let's select the Hamburger using Query Selector. Let's give a click event to it. So basically what this means is when I click the Hamburger menu, do something inside here. And the thing we'll do is add the X class to the Hamburger. So if we click the Hamburger, the X shape will get shown. Click back, it will add the 3 lines. Just like that. Now I'll just add some transition to make it smoother, and that's all for the first Hamburger menu animation. Look at that animation. It's perfect. Now let's create the back arrow shape animation. Everything will be the same except we'll make some changes to the lines with CSS. Let me just comment this code. You'll find it like this commented in the source code also. Let's create the new code for the arrow shape. For the line 1, I'll add a width of 15 pixels. The same with the line 3. For the line 2, I'll add a width of 25 pixels. Now I'll rotate the line 1 for -45 degrees. and a translate of -1 pixel to the X and -1 pixel to the Y. And here you can see it's perfectly aligned to the left side of the second line. Do the same for the third line, except change the rotation to 45 degrees, and to the translate Y remove the minus. Add it only 1 pixel. And here we can see the perfect arrow shape. Now let's add the correct transition to it and we'll be done. Look at that smooth transition. It's perfect. If we click, the menu will open. If we click back, the menu will close. In a real website, it will look like this. Alright, that's all for this tutorial. Again, I'd appreciate if you would click the subscribe and like button to give me a hand growing this channel. Also, since this was my first video with voice, comment down below your thoughts on that. I'll be waiting for your critics. Thank you again and see you next video.